All right, our sites are starting to look fantastic. Now we want to help make this structure a little bit easier by providing some layouts and some buttons. Now these are those drag and drop features that are really nice, so we're not having to resize and uncrop and figure out all these things with our pictures. And buttons just add a layer of navigation. So I'm going to show you how we can insert both of those from our menu. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to one of my other pages because we can see how this is getting a little crazy on here. So I'm going to go to my pages, I'm going to go ahead, I'm just going to jump down to one that's a little bit more blank for us. And back to my insert menu. One of the things you'll notice is that there's the layout feature. What this is it allows you to have some layouts for text and images, and you can choose how you want it to look. So if I go ahead and I select one of these layouts, it's pre-sized it for me and also pre-selected some of those fonts. I can go ahead and choose from here where I'd like my image, but of course, notice this, YouTube, calendar, and map can also be one of those image features that are included in these buttons. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say from my drive, I'm going to go to recent, and I'm just going to select one of those that I'd like to add. Notice that it does crop it because it was a layout size. Don't worry, we're going to deal with that. I can go ahead and I can add a little bit of text. And I can also add some other normal text as well. So you can see how I can put this all together. Now, another trick that I like to do is I like to have some things on my page. So I'm just going to go to my drive, and let's say I've already had some images added. Let's go find some more. So I have some images here. I'm just going to select a couple of these, and I'm going to insert them. It's going to throw them on the page. One of the things you can do is you can actually drag into there so that it will resize the image to fit into that particular layout. Now, if I don't want it cropped, that's a big complaint I hear, just hit that, uncrop it, but notice that it loses that structure of the layout. So you have to decide what's more important. Do you want everything even and lined up and fit in? Or do you want to be able to see the full view of it? It's up to you. That's part of the downside of having a drag and drop web building system. But at the same time, if you don't want to have to play around with trying to make these things fit in and drag and be the same size, you don't have to worry about it. You can use the layouts. What's nice about it too, if I add another section of layout, I can drag around pieces of the layout. So I could bring just this middle section of my layout up to here, and it still holds those pieces together. So it is a nice way if I want to be able to adjust it, but look how quickly it can get messed up when I'm just sort of dragging it around on the page. Remember, undo is your best friend. You do not have to have this on here look like that. Okay, so one of the things that we want to be able to do, I'm just undoing quite a bit of this so we can see our layout, and I'll delete some more sections here, is we can also add some buttons. So notice here I said click here. I can make that text or that image a link, which is great. We can also add some buttons. Now, these are not pretty buttons like these ones. That's in a later lesson if you want to see how Trish makes those custom buttons with the fun little superheroes and things like that. But this is basically a button that we would have in our navigation so that I want to be able to click here. Let me show you on another course that I've built what this looks like. So here you can see on this particular lesson, I added a button for the next lesson and for the main menu, just as a way to have people be able to navigate around my site, especially if we go into preview mode and we see that they're functioning, then you'll be able to see how these buttons work. So if I was to click next lesson, it would take you to the next lesson. So that's what we're going to build in this particular example site. So we'll go back here and we'll go into this site. When I go ahead and click button, it allows me to name my button. So I can name it click here, but in this space, I'm going to call it addition. Now it allows me to put in a link. I can have this link to an outside website, or I can go ahead and I can choose where I would like it to link in here. Insert. There's my button. Now, I will tell you, you can adjust your button this way, the across ways, but you cannot adjust it vertically. So that's it. You are stuck with the button as they put it. Now, you'll notice there was quite a few characters. In this, I can have 120 characters. It's like having a tweet in a button. It doesn't stack That's my only downside. It's one big long sentence in this button. Let me show you what I mean. So here I pasted in a paragraph. Look, it's just gonna go long, 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 and that's it. I can't make it go a little bit wider. So personally, I like the buttons when I just have it because I want it to simply be one word or a couple of words. And so I can go ahead and put it back because that just makes a little bit more sense. What it will do is it will pull the emphasis color, and that's how you end up with your button color. If I was to change the section background, it'll adjust the emphasis so that it can still be seen. So with no web designing skill whatsoever, you can create navigation buttons on your site to help your viewers be able to find what they need.